Trying to hit this button. All right, let's get into it. I mean, I want to thank you so much, Suzanne. I know
Thank
what it is
you.
to be on tour and have a bunch of
All
stuff
right.
going on and just
Yeah.
being a part of this podcast. This is just awesome. And I thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you.
It's
Thanks
not
for
every
having me,
day.
man. I appreciate that.
It's not it.
So you've
Yo,
been
it's
on the
not
road
every day
before?
we get that Midwest love, man. The pride of Parma, Ohio is right here on my podcast. Let's get it.
That's amazing. You just made my day. Oh,
Oh, you got a
Normal,
few of those
Ohio.
because I've
I
been
got.
I have been watching and kind of like in this weird Suzanne Santo cocoon,
Oh
if
my
you will.
God.
And no,
Thank
getting ready.
you.
Like I like, man, we do our homework here and we try to make sure every interview isn't like, the run of the mill interview. So
Oh
I
my
just
God. It's you know how it is out there too. There's some funny shit. Like, somebody asked me the other day, and I don't know if I should say this, but and she was so sweet. She was a college student, but she said, "What's it like playing music in front of people that love your music?" I was like, "It's great."
I would hope so.
Yeah, what do you want me to say?
And then at the end of
Glad you
that,
like
hey, you did Rogan before me, and that's one of my idols. And I look at him, and I'm just kind of like,
Great.
"Oh, you better fucking break it. You better break it." But I
You're doing
always do
great.
this, especially around COVID. I always ask, I check in, how are you doing? The obligatory
Oh, thanks.
COVID check in. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you're mentally stable. Make sure everything's good.
Oh, that's sweet. I'm great. I'm really good. I appreciate that. Well, I live in Texas, so everything's pretty easy there. People are really laid back and respectful of one another, whatever you need. But for the most part, like I forgot about it. So I only remembered when I got back on the road. And every city's got a different version of it or a different temperature. And I'm respectful and I feel respected, and it's just kind of like I'm really grateful to be back on the road playing shows. There's a bee. Oh no. Okay.
And that makes sense, mainly because as the world is opening back up, and I had
Hmm.
my COVID fun, and what
Yeah.
that means
Yeah.
is sitting on a couch, gaining 20 pounds, binging Netflix.
Sure.
And you know what? I don't give a shout out. I don't know. I hope I'm not crossing the line. Your guy was represented because there was a lot of True Detective, and
Yeah.
me and my wife watched, then rewatched The Guilty, mainly
Oh
because,
wow. Yeah.
hey, because we had two totally entire different takes on it. So I just want to give a quick little tip of the cap to your
Thank
buddy,
you.
the guy,
Thank
because
you.
he was well represented in this
Yeah.
house.
Thank you. Yeah, he's
And
he's pretty great. I'm really proud of him, and like it's so crazy to like be privy to his life too and his accomplishments, and I think he's incredible, and it's pretty cool to be in love with somebody like that and
that,
to be loved by him. you
that is awesome.
know
But I want
Thanks.
to break it back to you because I know you're a true advocate of like self care. And especially
Mm.
around this time, I made like a goal to make
Mhm.
sure I leave the pandemic better than what I came in.
Sure,
And
great.
I did absolutely none of those things. I didn't learn the language.
Okay,
I did not
that's cool.
work out. I
No,
did
see,
not do.
I don't think that like I know that pressure, that feeling. Like I didn't I wrote like one song all of COVID. I didn't hardly write. I mean, I ended up playing more, like the more like mechanical stuff of like getting better at violin and getting better at guitar. But like I really sidestepped that pressure of like you're supposed to do something amazing. And like I just gave myself a lot of grace and like gave myself the space to process. And to be honest with you, a lot of that was like grieving stuff that I kind of hadn't, and it was really really painful, but I'm so grateful that I had that time to do it, because life on the road is fast fast fast, and you can leave stuff behind, and then before you're overwhelmed and you forgot to tend to your emotional garden. and And I
Makes
did that,
sense.
and that was really hard, but really rewarding. And I mean, that was my self care. And give or take, like I do like a month without drinking or something like that, and like just to like clean out the old liver.
I did not, but go on.
Hey, that's okay too. I think the self care thing, at least for having no manual for what it was supposed to be like to prepare ourselves for the world like that. If you're not an addict or in a severely mentally unstable place, I say, go for it. Get drunk, whatever you need to do, and then bounce back. But like, I had a lot of dance parties alone.
All right, all right.
um, you know, but like it feels so long ago because I moved to Texas in February of 2021, and it's just so different there, and it was so different from Los Angeles too. So I met my now fiance like a couple weeks after I'd moved there. So you know, my life has moved really quick. Like I feel like I lived 10 lifetimes during COVID, from being in Los Angeles, having no like plan to leave, and then just literally leaving from like the drop of a hat and having a whole new life. So
Well, we're gonna jump
like,
into that. And out of COVID, I
yeah,
got my COVID prize, a pretty sick beard. But other than that, it's pretty
that's
much
a
what it
good
was.
beard. It looks great.
Thanks, Suzanne. But
Yeah.
one of the out of the most horrible times of our lifetime, something came very beautiful, and that was your album Yard Sale. Like one of
Thank
those
you.
is after listening to it so many times, there is I have tons of questions, but one of the things
Okay.
I get from Yard Sale, it was a world of how you kind of alluded to it, where it was like transition. But one of the things I looked at from one of your previous interviews, yeah, I'm biting, whatever. But you said you write because you have to. But once you put forth the effort, like the muse shows up. I'm very
Mhm.
curious. We were going through a lot. I don't care who you
Yeah.
were during this time. Everyone had their own baggage. What was the muse that
Right.
showed up during this time that says, like, you know what? I want to put this on paper, thus up.
Well, the muse and the spirit, I guess, behind Yard Sale happened most of 2019, prior to the pandemic. So I had actually done like a version of the record, and then thought it was done. Then I took some songs out and added two more songs. But really, that in terms of that muse and that I wrote the majority of that record when I was on tour with Hosier, and I was his guitar player and fiddle player and like utility basically. And you know, full transparency, like it was a really great opportunity for me. We got some traveling musicians walking by in a second. It was an incredible, life changing opportunity, um, but it also was really painful to be not playing my own music and feeling like I had abandoned it. And when I joined his band, I really truly was like, I guess that's it. You're like you're a side, musician now, and your stuff is what it was. And I really grieved. I was really like devastated. And then about halfway through that tour, I was like, no, I'm not done. And I just started writing like crazy. I mean, writing every chance I could get, and in any space that, like, in the past, if I were precious about like what writing looked like, I was always uncomfortable. It didn't matter. Like I was on, on the bus, in cars, in hotel rooms, like right before I went on stage, like just working on like tending to the thing. And I'd never written like that before, but it was because my soul needed it. I'd realized that, like, as much as I love playing music with other people, like I really have to play my own music as well, no matter where I'm at, even if I never leave my living room. I just got to do it.
Like when I listened to this album, you found this great intersection that I didn't think was possible, whether it be Southern Gothic, country, however you look at it, which made this like beautifully haunting sounds that came out of your voice. It's almost like if Erica Badu and Towns Van Zandt had a baby, and then just
Man, that is
what? What did I say?
perfect. You know, I love Erica Badu. I love her music so much. So it's really funny. And I love Towns Van Zandt, like diehard fan. So
But
thank
what I'm
you.
saying is, if they had a baby, that would be the story.
A really
Because
talented baby.
very, very. So when I listen to Yard Sale throughout this, and I know I get it, Yard Sale, but throughout the album, and tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm full of shit at any time, just tell me. But there's like this throughout the album, this sense of emotional unpacking of sorts, where you're just kind of like,
Definitely.
all right,
Yeah.
I'm from Ohio. I just traveled the world. I was in LA. Now I'm in Texas. I have done a lot of good and bad along the way. Let's sort this out. That's what I get from this album. If I'm wrong, just tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. And you know, sorry, I'm trying to get to a quieter place for you. I got my AirPods in, so I can't hear. I can see people, I just can't hear them. But yeah, no, that's pretty spot on. I mean, I I definitely you know, I've always wanted to make a concept album. I haven't done that yet. And I guess this album was like every song is a reflection of the spirit of the times that I was existing in and living in. And unpacking is great, you know, like, and that is what it represents. And you know, I guess they all fit together in the storyline of my life. So uh, that you nailed it. You're not wrong.
Well, okay, thank you. But during this album, you got a chance to work with Shaky Graves on Afraid of Heights, and he's one of
Hmm.
those guys that I've been watching lately, where I
Hmm.
love a good storyteller. And
Yeah,
being
yeah,
around Shaky Graves, I would imagine wakens up this thing in you that wants to tell a story in the Afraid of Heights. Personally, Sam, by myself, no one else, I am not afraid of heights. However, listening to this, I feel I'm like, oh, I finally get it from someone's eyes. Can you tell me a little bit what it was like to work with Shaky Graves or whatever? How do you trade
yeah,
paint with an artist of that caliber?
yeah. You know, it was like a blind date of sorts because I didn't really know him that well, and you know, uh, I'd always admired him, and like you know, ran into each other, you know, at festivals and stuff. And you know, the funny thing is that I was in Australia. I was in Byron Bay, Australia, and off the Gold Coast, and I ran into Gary Clark and Shaky in the same day, and we all ate dinner together. And I was like, "Man, I'm gonna hit you guys up when we're stateside. I'd love to make some music with you." And they're like, "Yeah, cool." And I'm like, "They're full of shit. That's never gonna happen." And they totally showed up for me. I couldn't believe it. And you know, I was going back and forth with Shaky on scheduling, and I just showed up. You know, I bought a plane ticket and stayed with friends in Austin, and then you know, working with him was really something. I mean, he just just as a human being alone, like his heart is beautiful. And he was really, oops, did I lose you?
You're good. I'm still here. You're good.
My I got some
I
bad
get it.
news. My battery's
Hey,
running low.
I
But
understand.
Shaky is a real artist and a very kind soul. And man, when you get to work with people like that, that like I'm not contending with somebody's ego, like that's when really beautiful stuff happens. And it was such a great experience. And he was so kind to me and so generous with his time. And you know, I really appreciate his you know, his direction where he goes with the song, where you know, and like it was just you know, wrote the song in about a day, 2 days. And then I did a lot of overdubs and I think we recorded the whole track in LA with my producer. But either way, I loved the experience. I'd love to do it again. And I have nothing but good things to say about him. Great dude.
I mean,
and his lady's
also,
fucking awesome too.
And we're going to jump into that. Let's talk about Gary Clark Jr. because you've worked with him on Fall for That on the album, and then you've done a few things, including the Joe Rogan podcast that I'm thoroughly trying to live up to right now. But like, how did you?
You're doing great.
Is it certain? Is it kind of like the same way? Where how did you guys start working together?
Well, you know, it's funny. It's hard to say. Like, I worked with Gary on Fall for That because I just kind of bugged him about playing on it, and like we had the whole thing recorded and written and recorded, and then he came in for like 30 minutes, not even, and did 7 passes of a solo and then pieced out. So, I mean, it was amazing. Like, I mean, it was like so badass. Like he like was like just incredible to witness him playing on the song. And we've since done some studio work together on some of his stuff that, who knows what's going to happen with that. But like, like Gary is incredible. He's like, he's a real force, man. Like he's a powerful dude. And, I really like him playing on Fall for That was such a quick interaction that we're buds. Like I've played a bunch of shows with him and stuff in Austin, and but I really look forward to like rolling up my sleeves and working with him again down the road. And same thing, I got nothing bad to say about him. Just an incredible human being, generous, kind, loving soul, and talented as the universe is infinite.
All right. That's cool. That's cool. But I would be remiss.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been in the cocoon. I am a fan. Ben from Honey Honey is on the record. Now I want to raise my hand. And I want to say this up front. It is just plain different to see you guys doing different stuff or working separately. And I understand. I get it. But you do work together. You play some shows together. Maybe I'm a diehard. Maybe I just want to see it one more time, Honey Honey. But how do you guys make that work right now? Or is it just kind of like just be there in the moment type thing?
I hate to break it to you, but that ship has sailed. And he's off doing his own thing and I'm doing my own thing. And there was an attempt to try to work together again, and it unfortunately didn't work out. And I can say confidently, will always be so proud of Honey Honey and the work we did together. But yeah.
I know. Look, what you're saying is a fanboy who just want to see everything right now. So,
Thanks,
all right.
Thank you.
Okay, first of all, Suzanne, we all knew that. But I just felt I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't ask that question. I'm going to shift gears, and as I shift gears, I'm going to I've been doing some homework and some research on you, and I heard that you by yourself, no one else, love a good dad joke. I rock the ring. I have a kid. I think I'm qualified. So
let's hear it.
All right, when you do tours, all right, I got three. I just want to see where I fit. As you do tours, when you get out there, if you don't mind, please visit one of my favorite restaurants, the Karma Cafe. They don't have any menus, but you get what you deserve.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I liked it.
You know what?
I liked it.
I'm warming up. All right. Hey Suzanne, what's in Tennessee?
What's in Tennessee?
Whatever Arkansas.
Is that what you said? Oh my God.
All right.
That one was okay. I liked the other one better.
Okay. All right. Suzanne, what does the nosy pepper do?
I don't know. What does it do?
Get jalapeno business.
That one's awesome.
Feel free to take any one of those. Feel free. Feel free.
Oh my
But
God.
now on days where, okay, I also read this, and tell me if
Okay.
I'm wrong or not. On days where you don't feel quite as awesome, the
Happy.
song Queen's
Mm-hmm.
"Don't Stop Me Now" is a great motivator song that pulls you whatever out of whatever funk you're into, and
Okay.
you're just back.
Right. Okay. Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, I was saying the
Sorry,
song.
I have to plug my phone in because it's gonna die.
I
Okay,
get
say
it.
it again.
Okay, what I was saying is on days where you don't feel quite normal or you're in a funk, anyone
Mm-hmm.
at any time can play the song "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen, and you're just
Right.
back. You're just back
Oh
out of
yeah.
this funk
Me.
and you're
I'm
ready to
back.
go.
Yes. How'd you know that? Who
We
told
do
you?
our homework. We do our
It really does things for me. It's just like it's perfect. It's perfect.
look. I told you at the start of this, we did our homework and we want to separate ourselves from everyone
Thank
else.
you.
So
Thank
I don't
you.
want to cross a line, but at the same time, I'm like, we do our homework here. But out of all of your work, whether it be Honey Honey, or whether it be your solo stuff, or whether it be whatever you're into, motivation seems to be like a common thread. And without it,
Uh-huh.
there may be a good chance you will still be living in Cleveland, selling pizza and spaghetti at your family's Italian restaurant. At this point, where does that drive
Yes.
you today? Where does that motivation kick in today?
Today, is
Yeah.
it going to mess you up if I go like this? Is that okay?
No, I'm good.
Because I had to plug my phone in.
You're still good. You're
And
still good.
I, you know, today, because I feel a real aversion to the social media runaround and the media runaround and the way it is crushing people and dividing us and ruining our unity and ruining our attention span and our own agency. I think I'm mostly motivated to bring as much genuine art from a God place as I possibly can, and hope that wherever I'm supposed to land with that, whether I never leave Austin or I get super successful or whatever, that is so important to me, and I think that that's the best I can do, and just and love my people, my family, my man, our children, with everything that I am, and that's the best I can do. And I'm very motivated to see that through.
That's awesome. And I'm transitioning again. I look, I
Sure.
I don't know if I crossed something, but obligatory shout out. I gotta give it up. Santo's Italian Restaurant, 7565 Pearl Road, Middleburg Heights, Ohio. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna try and swing by. I'm gonna be in Cleveland on Sunday.
Yo,
So
that was my
hopefully I
next
can.
question. That was my next question.
Yeah,
I
I
know you're doing this
know.
in Midwest. I would hope you're this close. Just stop in and say, hey, what up, man? And then,
I know.
you tap a waitress on the
I'm gonna
shoulder. Hey, man, I
try.
used to be you. Just
Oh no,
do one of those.
my family's still there. My whole family's still there. I could see everybody, but I'm driving in from Cincinnati that morning, and truth be told,
Uh-huh.
this was a moment where I felt very cool. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame emailed my agent and asked if I wanted a private tour, and I was like, oh my God, like I felt so cool, So I've never been. I've never been to the Rock Hall, so
Really?
I might spend my afternoon going to the Rock. I've never been. Never
All
been.
right. I will
So
say this. I have been to the Rock Hall, but maybe this is the thing. I rep Detroit as hard as I possibly can. You're
I
not,
know I can see that.
but
I love
there
it.
is this thing where if something's in your hometown long enough, you always kind of like put it off, where you're just kind of like, all right, I'll get to it. But I'm telling you right now, Suzanne, please go. Please, yeah, go.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna
But
do my best.
we're getting there. We're getting around that time, and I know you got a concert in a few minutes. I'm
Yeah,
plugging
I
the
gotta go in a
concert
little bit. I appreciate it. Thank you.
here, right outside Detroit. You're gonna be at Older Supply, but look, you're no stranger to the roller coaster lifestyle. Whether it be growing up in Parma, you were scouted as a model actress at 14. You spent summers working in Tokyo, later moved to New York. Um, you went to, like, what is it? I hope I get this right. The Professional Children's School alongside classmates like Jack Hennendorf, Lee Singer Fun. You were classmates with Scarlett Johansson, which is a story in itself. But you've been on Law and Order, Judge and Amy. And out of all of this, and I read, if I'm full of shit, tell me, you never once thought during that time of pursuing a musical career.
Not really.
Now, I said
Not
all
until
of that to say this. You are crushing it as a musician. There are people
Thanks,
watching.
Sam.
There are
Thank
people
you.
listening
Thank you.
who,
Appreciate that so much.
you're welcome. But there are people watching
Thank
and
you.
listening who may not have thought music as a first option, or they just went full bore into music. What advice would you want to give them as a person who just lived this roller coaster life and now doing it at their best peak, at their best ability?
You know, I'd say, you know, it depends on the like environment of where, like, if you want to do this full time, if this, it's like, if you want to do this as a hobby, if you want to do this as a place of joy and release and, you know, creative freedom outside of a steady job, all that's cool. If you want the big thing at the end, it's going to be really, really hard. It is very uncomfortable. These days, it's pretty much an act of service because no one's really going to pay you that much. And unless you like master TikTok, I've heard that's very helpful. I don't know how to do it, but like there's a lot of different ways to play music, and however you're going to do it, just make sure you love it. Make sure you love it, and it comes out of your soul. And good luck. You know, I'm still figuring it out. This thing's a moving target. You just got to figure it out as you go.
All right. Well, I thank you again for your time. We got to do it.
Thank you, Sam.
The album is Yard Sale. Please give us the social push. Whatever you want to push, whatever you want to talk about in the future, the social media. Like I said, Yard Sale. Is it cool during the podcast we play a couple songs from Yard Sale?
Oh, please. Yeah, I'd love to. Please do. Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's all on you. This camera, your camera, whatever you want to say, whatever social media is, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. No, I've got Suzanto, SOOZANTO, or Suzanne Santo on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and now I'm starting the TikTok. So, you know, I'm around. Come say hi.
That's awesome. And one other fun fact we looked up that we don't necessarily know how to shoehorn into an interview, so I'm just going to ask you straight up. You still love alliteration?
Okay.
Just want to toss that out there.
Yeah, I love alliteration.
Because your name
I'm
happens
like,
to
I'm
be...
like Suzanne Elisa Santo. I know.
There you go.
I know. Right. I know it's about to change soon. Oh my God.
So how do you work that out? I mean, like, is it kind of like a, yeah, I know who I am, but I really love alliteration.
Yeah.
Do you work that in the vowels? Just kind of like...
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, like my brain is a little fried right now. I got to throw one out, but I'm failing. But, you know, just in verse too, like in songwriting, it happens a lot just by, I guess, nature at this point. But,
all right, well, thank you for your time. I'm sorry we scared you with our amount of research.
Oh, I'm not scared. I'm honored. I'm so grateful.
All right. Like I said, we try to separate. We try to separate from everyone else. And we try to be memorable. But yeah, I don't exactly have a DMT tank in my backyard. Shout out Joe Rogan.
Yet,
But
yet, Sam. There's always next year. At least that's
I
what
don't
we
know
say in
where
Cleveland
to
for all of
buy
our
a
teams.
DMT tank, but let's get it. I'll figure out something.
Hey, you'll figure it out. If you really want it, you'll figure it out.
I don't know if I really want it, but I just, you know what? I do want it. Just the point to it is to say like, yeah, I got one.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Well, I
but
believe in you. Okay.
why not? That's where I live. Why not?
I think that's a great place to live.
Well, you're living it. You tell me. You live in why not every day.
I'm trying.
But
I
Suzanne,
guess so.
thank you so much. You've been a
Thank
joy
you,
to
Sam.
speak with. Thank you for giving us some time.
Likewise. Oh my
I am
gosh.
going to shut up because you got to sing in a few minutes. And
I gotta
do your
go.
thing, girl. I know you're gonna crush it. You're gonna crush it there. You're gonna crush it here on the 8th at Otis Supply.
Thank
So
you.
thank
I hope
you
you
so
come
much.
to the show if you can. It'd be great to see you and meet you in person.
I'll do my best. And you know, you may get a little cameo. I may just kind of like, hey, how you doing? You know, walk off. You know, do
He's different
like
in real life. Okay.
All right, Suzanne, I'm being completely honest with you. All right, I love all things Cleveland. I do. Y'all all right? But that is opening
Thank
day.
you.
So that is opening day for
I
my
know.
Tigers.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Copy
So-
that. Well, I say no more.
I will.
Respect.
It's right up the street, but you're gonna see a person do the best they can. Now that I
I
can
believe
promise.
it. Well, well, thank you, Sam. I really appreciate it, man. And I'm gonna try and grab some dinner before I gotta sing.
Yeah, go
So it was
ahead.
really, really
I
great
wasted
chatting with
way
you.
too much of your time. Thank
No,
you so
this was
much.
not time wasted. Thank you,
All right,
darling.
but thank you, Suzanne.
Have
You have a
fun
great
out
day.
there.
All
You
right,
too.
bye.
Bye, Sam.